Hey guys, Dempsey here, and today I thought it'd be fun to take a break from reviewing movies and to actually review something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Something that I didn't actually know was happening until about a week and a half ago, and that is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. So the reunion special just hit HBO Max, which unfortunately means that you can't really watch it unless you pay for the subscription service. But I think it's totally worth it, especially if you're a fan of the original series like I am. I actually just started rewatching the show a couple of weeks ago, so this kind of worked out perfectly, timing-wise. And let me tell you, there are a lot of things that I forgot about the show, and well, let's take it back a bit. I actually really enjoyed the special a lot, and let me just say that in an age where everything's being rebooted and revived, this will absolutely satisfy all of the Fresh Prince fans that have been wanting to see the cast get back together for a revival. It is everything a Fresh Prince fan will want and more, and it has a lot, and I feel like just the right amount of behind-the-scenes information to really shed some new light and make it feel like you're experiencing something brand new. And I don't want to get into too much detail. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, or anybody who is on the fence about seeing it, but once again, I highly recommend you do check it out. But there are a lot of cool things that I got to learn just by watching this special. And once again, I'm a huge fan, so there was even some things that I learned that I never realized, and things that now that I'm rewatching the show again, I'm absolutely going to look out for. In fact, one of the things that the cast talks about in the reunion is something that, well, once again, this is not really venturing off into spoiler territory. They talk about just how frequently everybody used to break the fourth wall in the show. It's one of those things that, once again, that you don't really think about while you're experiencing the show, but like in hindsight now, I remember so many times when Will Smith would just look in the camera or turn away or give like a cheeky little nod to the audience beyond the audience. And that's another thing that the show talks about, the fact that they were filmed in front of a live studio audience. And I think one of the coolest things that they especially mention is that how certain shows at that time didn't always have a live audience. They would rely on a soundtrack, but for this show in particular, it was so alive rather, and so funny that they actually had to scale back some of the volume to try and keep the cast members in focus. That some things were just so funny that they actually had to lower them during the production to make sure that the show could go on. And I think that that's really cool that this show was just so great, and that it brought so much joy to people's lives that it couldn't be contained. And it's crazy to me that back then the show was such a big thing, but like even today it's still such a big thing. Like I know a lot of people that are my age and even a couple of years younger, not trying to date myself, you know, that thoroughly enjoy this show and still laugh so hard even though they're not watching it for the first time anymore. It's quite literally timeless, and it's so crazy to me how, and they say this in the reunion special, that originally the show was designed for Will Smith, and that's another great story that they get into, how it was created, and just the Will Smith's meeting with Quincy Jones, who was a producer on the show. It's fantastic, and it's probably one of the best stories behind any TV show ever, in my opinion. But essentially, the whole idea of the show was to be a vehicle for Will Smith. And even the cast members thought that it was just gonna succeed by riding on Will Smith's coattails, but eventually it just becomes its own thing. And I mean, today, all the memes and all the references, the Carlton dance, it speaks volumes about just, once again, how big this show has become. I feel like I've said that so many times, but it's true. It's absolutely true. I think one of my favorite things, hands down, about the special, though, was seeing the original cast, or a lot of the original cast's original audition tapes, like Alfonso Ribeiro, Karen Parsons. You get to see them be Carlton and Hillary respectively before they became Carlton and Hillary. And it's so crazy because even in their auditions, like, they exuded them. They like embody them perfectly. It's obvious to see why they got the roles that they did. I also really liked learning the history behind Jazz being thrown out of the Banks' house. Yes, there's a story behind that too, and apparently you have to pay attention to his clothing in a lot of the early episodes too, because he wears a specific shirt every time he was about to be thrown outside the house, which I didn't know, and I'm excited to look for now as I continue to rewatch the series. Like most great TV shows, though, the reunion doesn't shy away from the drama behind the scenes. Most notably, the recasting of Aunt Viv, who was originally played by Janet Hubert. And they handle it very delicately. There's never any animosity, which I really liked. Like, the overall tone of this reunion special is that everybody is family. And even in bringing her back, a lot of these people, a lot of these cast members haven't spoken to her in years, especially Will Smith. He has not spoken to her since the time that she last walked off the set of the show. And to see their reunion in particular, I think, is one of the most fascinating aspects of the entire special. The entire reunion is essentially touching upon the fact that all these people, like, yes, it was a show about family, but all of these people were family beyond the story. And even after all these years, they're still family, regardless of what's happened. And it's made especially clear during the inevitable sequence where they kind of highlight James Avery's contribution to the show and his legacy. It's very sad, I will have to say, and I'm not gonna lie, I know for a fact that, and this isn't mentioned in the reunion special or anything like that, but his death is a big reason as to why they haven't done a revival or a reboot or anything like that. It's out of respect. It's the same idea with when Bernie Mac died and they didn't want to make any more Oceans films, except for the female reboot. We don't talk about that. Anyway, I digress. It's done out of respect, and you can see in the reunion special just how much respect these people have for him and just how much love they have for him. In fact, you get to see his involvement in one of the show's most iconic scenes ever, which is in the episode where Will Smith, or Will, right, meets his dad. I mean, we all know the scene, the episode, and it's incredible to hear the real story of his reaction on set while it was happening. It's just incredible. This entire reunion special is incredible. Who knew that 2020 would be the year that Will Smith would cry so much? I didn't. And I'm not trying to say that to be mean or anything like that. I just feel like this year, more than anything, the world has got to know him on a much more personal level. He's been out of the spotlight for a very long time, and YouTube doesn't count, okay? Yeah, we're so used to seeing him in all these great action roles, being a leading man, but I think it's his vulnerability, and especially the vulnerability that shines through in this special, that really humanizes him, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm totally here for it. Because at its core, that's what Fresh Prince was about. It was about showing us that even though these people that were quote-unquote rich and they lived in a fancy house and they had a butler and all that stuff, that they were still people just like us that laughed and cried and loved. And I really loved it. I really did love this reunion special. Obviously, there's a whole lot more that happens. It's about 75 minutes long, and you do want to stay during the credits. There's some really fun stuff that happens there, too. And there are also some really great surprises that aren't teased in the trailer. Some really fantastic ones that I think that OG fans will also appreciate. But yeah, this I didn't really have any problems with this reunion special. It's perfect, in my opinion. It's perfect for fans of the original series. It's perfect for people who, as I mentioned before, have been longing for some sort of reboot or revival. It really scratches that itch. And like I said, if you enjoyed the show remotely, if you've ever laughed at the show once, if you've ever cried with the show, I think you owe it to yourself to check this out. And for that, I'm going to give the Fresh Prince Reunion Special 5 stars. So I was originally going to wear this for this video, but I haven't washed it yet, and I don't want to get any germs. And yeah, coronavirus is still a thing, so make sure you're washing your hands, guys, okay? But in all seriousness, though, I got this on Amazon. This isn't an ad, by the way. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to view this video. It really does mean the world to me. And once again, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well for more new movie-related content weekly. Now, if you happen to see this reunion special, if you loved it, if you hated it, let me know what you thought about it down below in the comment section. Also, let me know what your favorite episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is. If you don't remember the name, let me know what happened in it. Or maybe one of your favorite moments, your all-time favorite moments, your favorite character, whatever. Let me know if you've seen the show, what you think about it. If you haven't seen it yet, guys, I can't stress it enough. It's one of my top 5 easily favorite TV shows of all time. But yeah, it's pretty much all the time that I have for you guys today. As always, be on the lookout for more new content. And, well, I'm just going to go now. Take care, guys.